Jared Bernstein, let's talk economics for a second here. It galls me, the conversations that I'm hearing. Mitch McConnell said 20 of his senators say we've done enough. We have a number of senators saying we're paying people to stay home. We have endless money to keep interest rates really low. We have record stock markets because there's no other game in town but to invest in stocks. People who are wealthy are gaining money in the stock market and they're refinancing their homes at sub 3% mortgages. The rich are getting richer, but we can't afford $600 a week for people who are out of work through no fault of their own.
Yeah, this is just not only terrible economics, but just deeply immoral. You're talking about a bunch of politicians who have perfectly cushy jobs and are there just delaying vital help to people who desperately need it. These are folks who rarely have any savings to fall back on. When they were laid off from work, they didn't get any paid leave. They have been dependent on these checks to make ends meet, which means putting food on the table and avoiding evictions. It has been very clear, and Democrats have been really promulgating this message all the way back to May when they passed their legislation, which Congress on the Republican side didn't take up till far too late, as we've seen, that these enhanced benefits have been a lifeline for these workers.
I mean, think back to the recession of 2008, 2009, after which you took office. And what lessons did we learn? We let too many people lose their homes. We didn't get involved fast enough. We did ultimately help out the banks in terms of helping people save their homes. But once you're past that wave, rebuilding it, putting Humpty Dumpty together again is much harder than stopping him from falling in the first place.
Yeah. So here are some, it's a great question. Here are some of the lessons we've learned. And if we were doing this intelligently, we'd be doing all the things Dr. Gupta just talked about, of course, because if we don't control the virus, there's no economic recovery. It's that simple. But yeah, looking back then, first of all, enhanced support, not just for unemployment benefits, but nutritional support through food stamps, now called SNAP. State and local fiscal relief, extremely important, also occurred back then. But the other thing that happened back then is that the impact of the stimulus ended before the economy was ready to really come back on its own. We found ourselves in a similar situation. Obama and Biden tried to do more, but Congress once again blocked them. So the tendency is to do too little, not too much. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. By the way, the other really important difference between then and now, and this was Joe Biden at work, just to get that on the record, was execution and implementation. Right? It's not enough to pass these measures if you don't oversee them with the kind of execution and implementation attention that we tried to implement back then under Biden's leadership.